Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple123 Trader. This is the weekly playbook outlook for the week of October 9th to 14th. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm going to start off with the look at the US dollar index futures, and we are at the start of this new week. And as you can see, we're opening up above the previous high of last week. So last week we saw a little bit of a push back down, expected push back down, and now we're pushing back to the upside. So I would look for further gains, moves to the upside in the U.S. dollar to challenge these highs, and that would bode well for players or traders of the major U.S. pairs. So we'd be looking for weakness in the Aussie, U.S. dollar, the Euro US dollar, GBP US dollar, New Zealand US dollar, and looking for strength in the USD CAD, USD Swiss, USD JPY. So that's for our S123 members. We're always looking at the major pairs in comparison to the US dollar index futures for opportunities to make some trades. So a strong US dollar going into this week. So let's take a look at the Aussie. Aussie then would be weak, and you can see it's very weak and in a complete decline, looking for further declines to much lower here over the course of this week and into just for the next while. Continued weakness in the Aussie. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin sitting still right on the shelf of the abyss here, right on the edge of the abyss, and looking to fall through a continued weakness in Bitcoin. It's been in a very tight range here for the last while, since the mid June, but we should be looking for further declines down below these lows of 18,044 area. So going into this week, I would expect further declines in Bitcoin. Crude oil. Crude oil has reached a level, and we had some news out a week or so ago with OPEC deciding to cut back on production. So this has propelled crude oil to the upside. We could see further moves to the upside as this cutback in production increases. So looking strong for crude oil at least in the short term. So that's the way to go with crude oil to the upside. Let's take a look at the DAX on the weekly time frame. The DAX is also quite weak, and I would look for continued weakness in the DAX going into this week. Any bounce to the upside opportunities to sell the DAX. Taking a look at the Canadian dollar on the weekly time frame. Canadian dollar also quite weak overall. I would also look for continued weakness in the Canadian dollar going into this week, and further afoot as well. Taking a look at the euro, and on the weekly time frame, we're in a serious downward spiral. There is really nothing holding up the euro at this point. Since we broke through these support levels, we're just in a free fall. So continued weakness in the euro as long as the US dollar continues its strength, and that's what's happening. So we want to look for the euro to continue falling. Taking a look at the Swiss franc, also in a big decline, looking for further weakness in that currency as well. Okay, so right now, basically everything is the same. We're just looking for down moves in primarily everything. Gold, we had reached a somewhat quasi support area and bounced. So will this bounce continue? It looks like that's a possibility. We could get another bounce to the upside, or there's two possibilities here. Looking like we should get another bounce to the upside, but we could see further declines. But I'm looking more for a push to the upside with gold's strength and coming into this week. Japanese yen, also in a free fall. You can see it's been in quite a free fall, and again, nothing holding this up. Since we broke through this support area here, we have just been in a total decline, and I would look for that to continue into the rest of the week and onwards. So continued declines in the Japanese yen. Taking a look at the New Zealand dollar, and again, I'm seeing lots of weakness in the New Zealand dollar overall. On the monthly, we're coming into a support, but not much of a support. It's just a thin little bar. So it looks like we should slice through that, continue going much lower on the New Zealand dollar. Taking a look at the NASDAQ, and let's go up to the weekly. You can see the NASDAQ is sitting right on the precipice as well. And after last week's bar, it's not looking too good for the NASDAQ overall. Any type of bounces here, opportunities to sell into weakness. Of course, because we're at a very strong support area, and this is an area it's possible we could get a bounce here. It is even possible that we could do something like this before we fall, but right now it's looking very weak and precarious for the NASDAQ 100. British pound, it too is in a downward spiral. Made a big bounce there last week. However, that's on the monthly. On the monthly, we're looking very, very lean and weak to the downside. So on the weekly as well. So on the daily, yes, we got a little bit of a bounce, but it looks like that bounce is over, and we're going to continue back down. Okay, taking a look at silver. Silver would be similar to gold. Let me get that up. Silver would be similar to gold, having that nice bounce. Is it long? Is this bounce going to continue into the rest of the week? It is, again, possible, or we could continue going down. So we'll see how this plays out. But it looks like we should get another bounce to the upside, even though we're starting off in a little bit of a weakness. The Russell 2000 on the weekly, also sitting on the edge of the abyss. Again, any bounces to the upside would be opportunities to sell, and it looks like we're going to continue going down into this week. It will be the same thing for the Dow. We're sitting, actually, with the Dow, you can see we've broken through that level and are heading further to the downside. So any kind of bounce, opportunities to sell into the Dow. Looking very bleak for these indices at this moment in time. Here's the S&P 500. See if I can get that to come up. S&P 500. It too has broken through that support level, and with a big pin bar there, looking to continue going south. The U.S. Technology Group also breaking through that level, sitting really right on the edge of the abyss, and looking to continue going further down into this week. So basically, the story is the same for everything down. All right, so be very careful going long in anything. Any types of bounces, opportunities to sell. That's a look at what's setting up for this week. Profitable trading to everyone. I'm done now. Thank you.